Hey guys, it's Warbird, and today I wanted to talk about the absolute state that TF2 is in right now, and how it's been extremely awful for almost a decade. And it all starts with the casual versus Quickplay debate that roughly started about a year ago. There is no denying how much of a genius masterpiece TF2 was before Meet Your Match, even with mediocre updates like Robotic Boogaloo and The Line, and some extension even Invasion. And you can't tell me with a straight face that Meet Your Match and even a lot of the stuff after was frankly good. Ever since July 7th, 2016 onwards, this game has been through hell for 9 years and is still going, all because of the mistakes Valve has made back from 2016 to now. Today I wanted to talk about this kind of stuff solely because I just love this game so much. But this game has been suffering for too long now. So without further ado, let's get into this mess, terror, and sad reality.
Okay, EQ, let's just go. EQ's down here, let's hide him.
If you don't know what Quickplay was, it was a well-crafted system that quickly put you inside of community servers with just 2 buttons. The system was added because of a huge flux of fresh install players filling up every single community server at the time, which the game went free to play because of the main economy update. The main economy update was released all the way back on September 30th, 2010, making the game into an entire economy to buy, sell, and trade TF2 items, which would be transferred into CSGO and Dota 2 later in 2013. This update was fairly received well from players, except item sets because they made the game pay to win. Except some players would be upset by how much Valve was charging players by both paying the game first for $20, then paying roughly $10 to $12 just to have a higher advantage over any other player that doesn't have the set. This would be a little bit of a problem for a little bit until Valve released the Uber update on June 23rd, 2011, which was a huge spike of players for Valve. Hundreds of thousands of players instantly got into the game because of this one update, and frankly, I don't think TF2 would have lived this long if Valve didn't drop the $20 price tag. The game would still have players, but it would be a fraction of what it would be. But to back on track here, this did in fact fix the problem that players were annoyed by how much money Valve was charging players. If you wanted to spend the money anything from the game now, you had the option to, but the gates are always open. So there it was, the problem fixed now, right? Nope. Then there was another problem that started shortly after. Even though, yes, it was very good that Valve was getting thousands of players because the game went free to play, but then there was a different problem. Almost every server back from the day was essentially always filled with fresh installs or completely clueless players. The reason why these players just weren't good at the game, and even now, is because usually you would get a grasp of how the game functioned, or even if the game was received well from fans, then you will buy the game after, and not much trouble later. But when TF2 went free to play, why waste your time on seeing guides to see how the game functioned when you can just start playing it right now? But this wasn't even the problem. The problem is that especially older or sometimes even newer players just could not play the game. They would waste so much time just trying to join other players on their favorite servers and trying to join a server that a new player has never even heard of, which led Valve into making Quickplay, and probably the best part, Valve servers. But I'll start with the system first. When Quickplay came out, this almost fixed all the problems that Valve has faced back when they first released the main economy update to the Uber update. How Quickplay worked when it was first released is that it basically puts you inside of community servers with just 2 buttons, like I said. But so basically there was both good and bad when Quickplay first released. So the good is that this led players to use the Quickplay system because that's what they saw on the screen first. And this split the half of the players joining Valve servers and other community servers. So the best part is that the Valve servers purely ran the vanilla game with no interruptions, no plugins, no silly anything. It was just the vanilla game with some friends to hang out with and to have a good time. But this is when the bad came in. Whenever you put inside of these community servers, not all of them, some of them, but some of these were just really bad. The first problem with these community servers is that they forced you to watch ads or even just message of the day before you picked your teams. These ads were extremely loud, annoying, and sometimes especially frustrating to go through because sometimes an advertisement would just randomly start playing while you're playing the game. The second problem with some of these community servers is that they were just completely empty. And this was one of the specific problems that Quickplay had when it was first released. Because sometimes Quickplay would just randomly plop you inside of empty servers. But more on this later. Which was again frustrating for players. And finally, the third problem that occurred that happened with these bad community servers is that they had donation perks or just donation upsides. This was probably one of the worst things in terms of gameplay in the old days. Some of these players would just randomly have more ammo in their magazine, more health, faster firing speeds, faster movement speeds, higher damage, etc., etc. This would be incredibly frustrating to players that was just disadvantaged, just like item sets I mentioned earlier. Or worse, you could just use both donation perks and item sets at the same time. Oh, these were really not good. So in the end of the launch of Quickplay, it was extremely pulverizing. It was essentially a coin flip if you were either getting a good vanilla game or a really bad custom game. Then over the time in 2013, Valve would fix problems that was occurring with Quickplay. Like first, making sure that ads or message a day would not appear more than once. Fixing the system where it made you put inside a full server instead. Then finally disabling message of the day entirely at the near end of 2013. So at the end of 2013, Quickplay was fixed a little better, and it was at a better state of what it used to be, but it was still a coin flip to again either get a good or bad game. But finally, at the beginning of 2014, Valve has finally fixed Quickplay to make sure the system was good. Valve changed Quickplay and to make sure that you always joined Valve servers by default. Yes, you heard me right. It was not a coin flip to either get a good or bad game anymore. It was almost always good. But some players were kind of upset that this essentially started to kill community servers with this one change. But just a little bit after, Valve introduced the Advanced Options menu on Quickplay. Now you had the option to either search for Valve or community servers whenever or whatever you liked. And in addition of the same update, Valve introduced the Show Servers option, also on the Quickplay menu. This in my opinion, this is what made Quickplay great. Even though, yes, this was just a diet server browser, but this one was much more user-friendly with bigger pictures and bigger text. Unlike the vanilla server browser, which was just small text altogether. And that's it. Up until Quickplay, besides like a couple of, bugs after a while, until Meet Your Match in 2016, this was a system that was fairly simple for its time, but in the end, functioned great. Every option and freedom that Quickplay gave to older players fit into what you enjoyed from the game. It may have not been perfect. There was very minimal problems that Quickplay had, like inconsistent queue times. But other than that, Quickplay was a great system that worked for 5 years. Unlike casual mode. If you don't know what Meet Your Match was, it was an absolute catastrophic failure of a major update that was released on July 7th, 2016. This update introduced casual mode, competitive mode, that totally a lot of players totally play on, and a brand new matchmaking system that would completely change how you used to play TF2. Instead of Quickplay letting you join Valve servers through the community server browser like it did before, Valve servers were now in the matchmaking system with no more ad hoc connections. The system still puts you inside of Valve servers, but now you have to use the matchmaking system in order to play the vanilla game. And I know what a lot of you are thinking. What matchmaking system? We queue for casual just like we did with Quickplay anyways, just not through the server browser anymore. Well, no. You technically actually have a rank for all your casual and competitive games. Now a lot of you are thinking, oh, I didn't know that. So what does it do, and does it even work? It does not work. Your rank is artificial, and essentially does not put you inside of the same server with players at the same skill level as you. Because how can you? It would be impossible for the game coordinator to find 23 other players to be at the same skill level as you, especially when other classes have easier skill floors and harder skill ceilings. A high-level scout means nothing to a low-level engineer that can still counter him just like that. And that's just one example for something like class encounters. This is part of why your game feels like stomps the majority of the time. Almost 24/7, your team is filled with fresh installed players, and the enemy team is full of high-level sweats that stomps you for 2 rounds, and the game is just over. Another problem that casual has is player connections. And this is something you literally cannot fix inside of casual mode unless Quickplay was brought back. For some reason, the game coordinator puts all players into specific teams first while the players are connecting, which has led into even worse unbalanced games. Whoever connected faster with their assigned team first will always have a numbered advantage over the other team. The dumb reason why Valve did this is because in competitive games you're assigned to on a team first, and also Valve's comp does this as well. But this makes teams extremely unbalanced. If players connected faster than other ones, this means they could just potentially get Ubers faster, make engineered nests more, and even just simple as getting in position as sniper, and etc. If the other team has way less, there's almost nothing you can do. What can you do? How can you approach the other team? Kill them a soldier? Pyro heavy? There'd be no way. You are outnumbered, and if you're outnumbered, you might as well leave because there's nothing you can do. And I guess people just put up with this? People just look over this and think this is fine? People just around a freaking forest fire and think this is normal. Another problem with casual mode is losing connection. If you don't know what this is, whenever you look at the scoreboard and look at all the players, you might find a yellow text stating player lost connection. This means that this player slot is reserved and locked into position until they are successfully connected again, or worse, another player joins. This loss of connection could mean a variety of reasons: bad internet connection, game crash, etc. This is a gigantic problem with casual. The fact player slots are reserved until they reconnect is a horrible design decision for casual. The last and absolute worst part of casual mode is the slow, long wait times. This is easily the most frustrating part of playing casual mode, especially for today. Unless you play on older, especially any popular maps like Badwater, Upward, Two Fort, Harvest, Viaduct, Turbine, etc., your queue times are smart and essentially equivalent to Quickplay, sometimes even faster. Who knows? Sometimes it really is just the same. But on any other map, minimum wait time is at least 5 minutes up to hours of waiting to play into one game. Then, if you get lucky enough to wait long enough, if you don't have an extremely strong computer, you have to wait 2 to 5 minutes just to join the server on the loading screen. Then, this is the best part, guys. You get to play TF2 with other problems I just mentioned up to 2 minutes maximum, unless you're playing payload. Maybe even less. Sometimes, if your teams are uneven, you get to play then less than 1 minute. If you couldn't figure it out by now, casual is such a flawed and broken system that is frustrating to a vast majority of players. Which made it even worse is that casual was even more awful to play back when Meet Your Match was released. Like timeout penalties, which made playing casual wait even longer to play, all because you decided to leave a server as you pleased. Another flaw that was included in casual in 2016 is that you could not call for a vote kick in a game where cheaters are always a problem ever since VAC just could not work against modern cheats. With Valve just not doing anything with the anti-cheat system, and instead give you an option to call for a vote kick a couple weeks later. But cheaters were having a time of their lives, killing the game even further as the cherry on top. There was even more problems that casual had when it was released. I'll just go through them. Forced to queue for 2 game modes, stopwatch mode, which is a comp feature that was placed into casual mode and made playing the game even further to play on. No auto balance, no map selections. That was seriously rushed, and many more I just talked about. This was the vanilla game that Meet Your Match launched. Words cannot describe how terrible, rushed, idiotic, and poorly executed this update was. This game was a corrupted mess, only without the bots that made it even worse. Alright, the trigger word. Bots. The last piece of raw hell that Meet Your Match launched in literal days after its release. Yes, bots didn't just came out in casual mode in 2019, 2021, or 2020. July 16th, 2016. Valve servers were in it, put it the best I can, unplayable. No matter what Valve server you joined through, it was always filled with cheating, mic spamming bots. Not only this game was corrupted because of what Valve did to it, but you just could not play it at all. Valve quite literally ruined and possibly killed TF2 for the worse ever since this update was released. There is no further how denying how quote-unquote kind of bad Meet Your Match was and made to play the experience worse, unlike Quickplay.
What I will say is to everyone who's rallying for the return of Quickplay and a complete rollback to Meet Your Match, it's not happening. Valve isn't gonna suddenly overturn Meet Your Match and let all of the work they put into casual go to waste. Tough.
In terms of arguments, debates, and Discord, what have you, this might be a little controversial to some people who's watching. There's just, like, literally what I just mentioned in the previous part. There is no opinions, no preferences, no favor, none over casual, which casual or Quickplay was better. Quickplay was miles better than casual, and casual mode is infinitely worse than Quickplay in almost every way possible. But since this video is called Arguments, some people are still somehow in favor of casual mode and say the system is completely fine and that there's very minimum problems with the system. So right now, I want to hear some of the arguments in favor of casual mode and what I have to say about these takes. Number 1. Casual mode has ping filters and Quickplay didn't. Sure, Quickplay for the most part didn't have anything like ping filters because it was a bare minimum simplistic. But it was extremely well designed. Not perfect, but worked great. But even then, if you were put into a server that just put you at a high ping server, or worse, put you in a different country altogether, then all you had to do is just leave if you wanted to. Blacklist the server, not connect to it ever again. But guess what? Even with a good concept like ping filters into TF2, they don't even work a lot of the time in casual mode. Like a majority of the crap it does in matchmaking. Unless you queue on a map that was extremely populated, again, like Badwater and Upward, I won't even go through them again, then your ping filters kind of works. But this leads into another problem with less populated maps. If you don't have a set ping filter and play on maps that people don't usually play on, like Hydro, Doomsday, Pipeline, Nightfall, Watergate, etc., then sorry, get ready to queue for an extremely long time. And even if you were put into the server, the part where ping filters does not work is that they just put you inside of different country servers anyways. Half of what ping filters works doesn't even work if you want to stretch out the new map experiences that you might have never even played on. Quickplay never really had this problem because all you had to do is leave. Number 2, casual mode queues up faster than Quickplay did. Kind of. One of the only small problems that Quickplay had at the time was inconsistent queue times. Sometimes you did have to wait 2 to 5 minutes just to play on the Quickplay system and then place into Valve servers. Which faster queue times for Quickplay is something I would fix if it was brought back. But this was never really a problem. Why? Well, duh. It's called Quickplay, which meant that you queued extremely quickly. Sometimes you do queue for 2 to 5 minutes, but a lot of the time, your queue times was the 5 to 20 seconds. And here's the best part. You only have to do this once. Yes, you heard me right. Once. It only took 2 buttons to queue for 20 seconds and to start playing on Valve servers once. Wow. But now, like I said about the previous argument, unless you're playing on populated maps, your queue times can last from 5 minutes to literal hours of searching. There's been countless people complaining about how long they queue for casual games. Sometimes they wait an hour. Sometimes they wait for 2 hours, 6 hours, sometimes even to 12 hours of searching. Sometimes even on populated maps. This was all because of the game coordinator trying to place players all at the same time. Even though this was a small problem that Quickplay had, this was never a horrific, frustrating problem like casual has right now. Number 3. But if they reverted back to Quickplay, I will lose all my casual levels and rankings. Why do you care? What is so compelling about an artificial, worthless, useless ranking system that doesn't mean anything, nor the actual casual experience? TF2 wasn't designed to be a grinding video game. TF2 was designed to have laid-back experience to talk into friends with, and generally just have fun first. So when players look at this worthless level system, they think it's more serious and shows how fresh and new they are truly because they're just at level 1. So that when they play on casual mode, because it's the first option they see, they get points by playing it. And I get that it means nothing actually playing the game, but this is a horrible way to show players that this game can be played at being better than other players. I just cannot see the appeal to such a worthless ranking and leveling system, when all it really shows is how long you've been playing casual mode. Number 4. But what about the party system? How can my friends join if they're not in the party with me or just all together? Ad hoc connections. And I'll just say, if you just don't know what ad hoc connections are, they're just a system that actually just is not just exclusive to TF2, but in Steam together. Steam has its own server browser for all their available games with TF2. This also works for all Gold Source Engine games, and sometimes even non-Valve games. How ad hoc connections work is that it just allowed you to play on the server instantly through the server browser, through friends, etc. This was one of the main things you would use before Meet Your Match, especially with friends. But now, if you wanted to play the vanilla games, if you wanted to play the vanilla game, quote unquote, and play with your friends, sorry, you have to use the party system now. Which then, guess what? The party system sucks. Why? Because the party system only works if all of you are queuing at the same time. If you don't, you have to get into the party system and you have to wait just to play with your friends. That's it. That's right, since you can't select or switch teams. You have to play with your friends and not against them, which really sucks. Because playing with your friends is a fun, unique experience all on its own. The worst part is the waiting part. If you join a party while they're in a casual game, you have to wait till the match is over, then you can join. It was so much better to use ad hoc connections to start playing instantly and have the choice to either play or against your friends. If you want to use the match party to stay, then you have to bring back Quickplay to let you select or switch teams to play with your friends. Number 5. But if Quickplay was reverted back, Valve essentially just thrown away all their efforts into casual mode. This is one of the dumbest reasons why Quickplay shouldn't return. Isn't that what they did with Quickplay? The whole premise of Meet Your Match is to completely replace a well-functioning system, which was Quickplay, to be a soulless cuck of what it used to be. All the efforts Valve has made into casual mode by making it function more like Quickplay just made more problems in the long run. Because casual and Quickplay, I have not mentioned this till now, are completely different experiences and systems. There is no middle ground that makes casual mode more like Quickplay. I guess the people that experience Quickplay just forgot about that? Like, if that's the case, then there is so much proof that people just don't care. They don't care about if the game dies or not. They don't care if the game is being what is advertised to them. They just care either through the gameplay, even though they don't realize how inferior and how broken it is, or cases/gambling. I just don't get how people will praise a little good when there is an ocean of bad. All the efforts Valve put into casual mode just made it worse, and then let the game rot in hell. And finally, number 6. I don't care what would be vanilla in TF2. I think casual mode is fun. I seriously cannot see how. How is it fun that casual lets you wait long hour queue times for a 2-minute game? How is it fun that casual mode connects you to high ping servers all because of dead maps? How is it fun to be on unbalanced teams, to be stomped for a game just to be over in short minutes? Almost every possible thing that casual brings up is especially restrictions, and you literally cannot deny that if you made it in this far in this video, there is nothing that casual does right. There is nothing that casual works well on. There is nothing fun about casual mode. It is, for better word, a terrible experience. The stomps, the long queue times, short games, lost player connections, no team selections, no team switching, no spectating mode, no mods, no nothing. How can you tell me with a straight face, with all the restrictions and lack of options that is missing from casual mode? I'm sorry to tell you this, but you've been playing a lie of a game. You aren't playing the real deal. You're not playing TF2. And if you think this game is a lie of a mess and you still think it's fun, then I got nothing else to tell you but how. So, if there is no favor of casual mode over quick play, what is so important about this video? This part. This is my request for Valve. Valve, please just revert quick play back into TF2. I cannot stress enough how this system could be extremely influential and impactful would be if it was brought back into the game. You even said it years ago that the matchmaking system just does not work into TF2. But this is my question. Why did you not remove it? Why didn't you just revert it and kept updating quick play instead? Why did you just kept casual mode? I get it, that you get lots of money solely off of Steam, plus CS2, Dota 2, and even 2 TF2 microtransactions. I get that you just don't care, but Lord Almighty, if you keep TF2 at the state it is in right now, this game will eventually die in a slow, mishandled death. And if the game dies, CS2 will die. And if that game dies, Dota will die. And if that game die, hell, even Deadlock will die. And that game hasn't even been finished yet. TF2 affects your other games. And if you don't want that to happen, here's my proposition. In my honest opinion, revert back in the 2014 to 2016 version of Quickplay with some minor changes. The only small changes I can think of that you can add back into Quickplay are ping filters, if you can make them work, which it probably will, and faster queue times. But other than that, if you just want your artificial rankings from casual, or just for some reason you just don't want the system to be called casual for some dumb reason, then that's supposedly fine, even though they don't really mean anything. A full revert back into Quickplay would essentially populate and bring back the players into the game and freedoms that back into the system that was Quickplay. This is why I want the reversion. I don't care about the level rankings. TF2 wasn't designed to be a try-hard grinding game in the first place anyways. I don't care about the matchmaking UI. They all look hideous and inferior into Quickplay's classic amazing artwork UI anyways. Because the UI now looks like a modern competitive shooter, which TF2 isn't. And this is the main thing. This is something I have to put off my chest. I don't care about new hats. I don't care about new maps. I don't care about war paints. I don't care about new taunts. I don't care about new unusuals. And for the love of mercy, please do not add V-script silly wacky TF2 game modes that does not belong into this game, like VIP mode. Please don't add that. I am sick and tired of new content that is just being thrown onto us, making the game just even more unoptimized and lower end on computers. I am sick and tired of new maps being piloted into the matchmaking system, and making it extremely long for queue times, which is why essentially Quickplay would just fix it easily. As much as I don't trust Valve to essentially just some of the laziest, scummy, selfish things that they have done in the Valve has done in the past, Valve is the only ones that can change and fix the problems they have made in the past. Just like they did with free-to-plays. We just thought that Valve isn't just going to unmute free-to-plays because of how lazy and hard work as that would be for this multi-billion-dollar company. But guess what? They did. Valve has shown us that they admitted their mistakes and has bent the knee. If they can do something like this for free-to-plays, why not Quickplay? There is no reason, no buts, no excuses, none, to ask Valve to bring us back the system that we had before July 7th, 2016. There is absolutely no reason we shouldn't ask Valve to bring us back the fun. Okay, so I am finally done with, essentially just reading everything to you guys, and the video is overall over now. And if you made it this far in the video, if you truly understand everything I've said and you agree everything you like, or even you just like this video altogether, and I cannot appreciate you. Thank you enough. But anyways, this is really just a very topic that people love to talk about, including myself, and about TF2, Quickplay, and casual mode and everything. But that's essentially what I have to say about everything, and talk about the history, the arguments, and the and my proposal and proposition and everything. This is like, unless there's more topics to talk about in TF2, if you guys like this kind of thing, then just let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, this is not me being a TF2ber or anything stupid like that. I make music for a living, and I love making music. I love rock and metal music, and if you want to support me on that, this is going to be uploaded on my second channel, and my main one is just my actual music on my main channel. If you want to check that out, then I very much appreciate it. But other than that, then I guess that's it. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. See ya.